Hey, hey, this is Okay Okay. I am here with Tales from the Crypt Keeper 11 today. I'm coloring on it. That means it is almost done. The title of this one is Black Friday and happens to be coming out right after Black Friday. Might even put a Black Friday sale on or something like that. What Black Friday sales are you looking at? What commercial things are you willing to get trampled and mauled over? I have not actually seen any Black Friday deals that I'm going to be taking advantage of or anything like that, but I haven't really been looking. I've been staring at this comic, coloring it, and inking it like nonstop for the past 2 weeks. I think if you see my schedule, I started on this November 1st and working on it from like 9 to 5 for 20 days. So it's a fairly intense comic, but it's been fun designing this comic. It's a stark contrast to the Diaper Genie. As far as behind the scenes work goes, it's a stark contrast between the Diaper Genie, which was the first story in this issue 11. The story contest idea, the story idea contest that we put out, or I should say I put out, it was a very good feedback, lots of good ideas, and this story was chosen. It was very close between this story and one other story about Satan's daughter who is about to bring about the apocalypse, but is, stunted by, a. I don't want to give away the idea because who knows, it might end up getting used one day. But it's Satan's daughter who's planning on bringing the apocalypse and gets stopped. It was a really fun idea. I ended up going with this one because it was more of a adaptable to Christmas. The original idea was a story involving a mom and a daughter in a mall, and so this one has heavily been adapted. The Diaper Genie, I was saying, a stark contrast because the guy who had that story idea was Lee Walk, and he was able to come up with pretty much the entire comics dialogue for that story. I think I used 90% of the dialogue he sent me, and it was all good. I did have to create the script for it as far as what's going on, who's talking, and, well, not who's talking, but what's happening while they're talking, and the order of events, and that kind of thing, and how things are going to get shown. There's a whole lot to illustrating a story, but the dialogue was done. That's like 50% of the script. So with this one, it was a stark contrast in that I pretty much created the whole thing. I did have several different, whenever I do a story idea and I'm writing, I like to kind of have a few different scenarios in mind and just kind of throw out thumbnails and ideas and kind of pick and choose. So Mommy Wash You was the person who submitted this idea, and ran some of these ideas by her, and she was fine with all of them, liked all of them, and just kind of said, you know what, you can pick whichever one you prefer. It's like, okay, well, thanks. And now I've got my work cut out for me because I usually let other people make decisions, and so I've sort of made decisions on this comic. One of the polls that came out was which way do you like to see your diaper transformations? And that is, do you like to see a face on the front, face on the back, face on the inside? How has this person become a diaper, and how do they interact with this diaper, and all that kind of good stuff. The basic workings of a diaper transformation. So this story involves a kind of like a pop star diva girl. Her name is Nightly She-Funk, and that's kind of like an Instagram tag or Twitter handle. And she's kind of this pop star diva like Miley Cyrus or Katy Perry, Britney Spears kind of girl. So she's like a singer, she's an influencer. She's a commercialized corporate princess of the internet with millions of tween followers, and she discovers that maybe not all of her followers have her best interest in mind, that they might say they love her, but maybe they don't. Maybe It's not wise to trust a million tween girls with your fate. So that story involves like what is going on between her and her manager. And so some interesting stuff is going on between her and her manager. And that's what this story is really all about, these two characters. And I had, I think, 3 different endings that I had kind of come up with to think about how this story could end. And I wrote the ending like a week ago, maybe not even that last week, but it ended up being a little bit of one of the ideas and a little bit of a new idea after the poll came out and basically saw what people were saying, how they like this, because this story is mainly focused on a diaper transformation, and so that is the like main event of this comic story, Black Friday. So that was very important to figure out what people wanted to see in a story like that, and I went with which was the most voted for, and we ended up going with a multitude. I think there was maybe 3 combination of ideas, and so that's how we got the idea for the ending. So you'll have to tune in to see how that turns out and let me know what you think. We've got another sketch request contest starting on December 1st, and that will be a very minimal amount of requests this time because I've got some catching up to do. We've got a lot of work to catch up on without, sacrificing a contest. And hopefully we'll be able to do that over the holiday period. So that means a lot of work for me, a lot of drawing. I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. Stay tuned for Black Friday from Tales from the Crypt Keeper number 11.